And the reason it's called Pomodoro is because Mr. Cirillo was Italian, and I believe Pomodoro is Italian for tomato. Am I correct? Yeah. I was like, your name's Italian. You maybe know that. Yeah? Yeah, cool. Do you think he's getting monetized for this? I think he's getting monetized for this. I didn't realize there was such problematic language in here. But anyway, there we go. Maybe I'll need to find a new one. Okay, so that's like your friend is texting you, or your brother is coming up and saying something to you. You cannot negotiate with your dog. Okay, so if your dog needs to go out to use the bathroom, I guess you got to do that. Sometimes it's hard to negotiate with parents. They might take precedence over your study, but you can negotiate with anyone else. Okay, so you can use this technique actually for lots of things. Like I know when I need to exercise, like I find it hard to fit exercise into my day because I'm quite busy, but I'm like, okay, I'll just do 10 minutes, right? And then usually by the time I've done 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, that was kind of good. I could do another 10 minutes. So I end up doing like 20 minutes or a half an hour or whatever, and I managed to fit it into my day. So that's kind of a good thing to do. Now, you guys are in grade 9. You're probably not going to study for all of a day, probably most of you. But by the time you're in grade 12, will you probably be studying for most of a day if you're taking any academic courses? Yeah. Okay. If you're not planning on going an academic route, that's fine too, right? And you may not end up using this technique quite as much. But you can modify this technique to whatever you need to do. I had one student a few years ago, and he was just a very physical person. Like he always wanted to be up and doing things, right? So he decided that a 25-minute Pomodoro was too long for him. He was like, I can only do 10 minutes. Fine. Can only do 10 minutes. He did 10 minutes. He just took a 2-minute break. Didn't have to be as long of a break because, he's like, only worked for 10 minutes. And then he came back and did another 10 minutes and he got his work done. And it was great. Okay? So if you use this technique, make it work for you, right? If you're really getting into studying and you're like, it's 25 minutes, I really don't want to take a break, I'm on a roll, don't break. But if you find 25 minutes too long, make it 15, make it 20, make it 10, whatever works for you, okay? Yeah, and if you do get to grade 12 and you're like, I'm just churning and churning and churning and churning, it can get to burnout. Like you can get to a point where you're just like, I can't do anymore. Like if I work on something solid for a weekend, I often find that I'm extremely unproductive for the next day. Like I literally have no energy left. I have drained my resources. So taking breaks, I should have taken breaks, right? So that I kept my stamina up. Okay, and he just sort of goes on a little bit more. We've already kind of talked about that, but it is something that you can use when you're at home. You can use it when you're in class. So if it's like, oh my gosh, our class is always going to be at the end of the day. You may be tired every day because you've been working hard all day, and you're like, oh my God, it's Friday afternoon. I don't want to do any work. I just want to go home. I'll do the work when I'm at home. You can say to yourself, I'm going to do a 10-minute Pomodoro, right? Or if you're feeling really bad, you can be like, I'm going to do a 5-minute Pomodoro. I'm going to have 5 minutes where I really focus on what I'm doing. And then I'm going to allow myself a break. And maybe you get to the end of that 5 minutes and you're like, oh, I could do 10. 10 would be okay. All right. So the reason I introduced this is because today we are going to be doing some reading. Okay. So back to sort of page 7 and just looking at things that can help you with reading. You can, and especially because you have these workbooks, which are yours to write in and highlight and do anything you need, you can highlight or underline as you go. That helps you pick out key phrases, key words. You can annotate, which means you can write down in the margins or any of the blank spaces anything that's important or that you want to summarize. Obviously, if you have a textbook, you can't mark it up, but textbooks are kind of rare these days. Like I've been talking to my son in universities, like usually they just have like a textbook online, or you can just use the lecture notes because those are all online as well. Okay? So what are we going to be reading? We are going to be reading page 43. We're going to go there and do a couple things together, and then I'm going to let you read. Okay? 43, 1.3a. Page 43. So one of the techniques that can help you remember things also is to activate your prior knowledge. You can say, what do I already know about these things? So what we have here is we have a list of words that maybe you heard in grade 8, or maybe you didn't, or maybe you heard in your normal life, or maybe you didn't. Okay? So for example, we've got qualitative observation, quantitative observation, hypothesis. I bet you heard that one last year in Science 8. Prediction, variable, manipulated variable, independent variable. I don't know if you heard those last year. If you have some understanding of what these are, this is a pre-read exercise before you read. So you are going to go through here, and anything that you think you know the answer to, you are going to, in pencil, and if you don't have a pencil, I can lend you a pencil. And the reason it's in pencil is so that way if you change your mind about it, you can erase it later. If you happen to know what a qualitative observation is, you're going to write down blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to write down anything because I know what a qualitative observation is, but I want you to write down what you know about it. Or you can write down what your best guess is about it. Yeah? If you have no idea, then just leave it blank. Okay? That's perfectly fine. This is just to get you thinking about what you already know. Okay? So you're going to do that for all of these words here. Okay? On pages 43, 44, and then page 45, for whatever reason, I decided to put the same thing here again. So you're going to fill in 43, 44. And then on page 46, you're going to read and answer the instant practice questions. Okay? Now, if you finish page 46, you can go on and read and do page 47. Okay, so if you're like ahead of the game and you need something to do while you're waiting for the rest of us to be done, you can do that, page 47 as well. Okay, want to work ahead? Pages 47 to 48. Those are going to be part of your homework today. So if you do get to those and you want to finish them up, that's great. Okay, so I'm just going to be quiet now and I'm going to let you guys fill in, read and answer. And if you feel like you want to try out the Pomodoro thing, you're like, I've got a good attention span, I'm going to go for 25 minutes, then you try out that 25 minutes. If you feel like I don't have a good attention span today, give yourself 10 minutes and then take a break. And if you want to take a break and go for a walk or something like that, let me know and I can arrange for that. Okay? And maybe you guys could yeah, it is very clever though. It's very interesting. And remember, for that first part, it's okay to leave it blank if you don't have any clue as to what those words are about. Did anyone lose a pencil, please? No. I have a few highlighters here. I'm going to go grab a few more from the office. So if you would like to borrow one, they're right here. I will be right back. More highlighters. Yeah, you can just write some words. Yeah, it doesn't have to be filled out. So, yeah. So your homework's just going to be up to page 48. Okay, but if you're bored and you're like, oh, I want to just go ahead and you can keep going up to page, you could even go up to page 52 if you wanted to. But these won't be for homework. And if you get to the questions and you're confused, call me over, okay? Plus, you can also check with a friend. 48 is complete. And then in the 40, 47 onward, 49, 50, that's it. Yeah. Okay. I'm so that they have what you think needs to evolve, and that's not hypothesis. Bringing it to what the relationship studying and so I would probably make better score. Okay. None of these stats you already put it out. You can look at it. It's kind of exciting. Yeah, it makes absolute sense. Yeah. So that's not, folks, if you're having trouble writing an if-then statement for your hypothesis, don't get too wound up about that particular language, as long as you can kind of make a logical prediction about what's going to happen. And in terms of the relationship between two things, that's perfectly fine. If you don't use the words if-then, that's okay. Not really. You're just, I'll leave it. And how representative